Hello and Assalamualaikum. We are from Group 3. We'd like to present about organizational behavior that practiced by Microsoft Corporation. My name is Cik Siti Massitah binti IBERHIM.
My name is Muhammad Syafiq bin Muhammad NIZAM.
My name is AHMAD TIRMIDZI bin Muhammad SAUFIE.
My name is ATHIRAH binti AZMI.
My name is AHMAD RAMDZAN bin Muhammad YUNOS.
Let's start with background of Microsoft company. Microsoft was founded by Bill Gates and Paul Allen on 4 April 1975. The main activities of Microsoft at that time is to produce software for MIT's company. They chose to establish their company in New Mexico. In that few years, Microsoft managed to achieve sales more than $1 million in 1978. In the next year, Allen and Bill Gates decided to move the headquarters to Washington. After that, Allen and Gates decided to create and license their MS-DOS operating system to IBM in 1981. Other computer companies also interested to have that system and started licensing MS-DOS. Paul Allen quit from Microsoft in 1983 as he be diagnosed with cancer. However, Bill Gates still carrying the activities in the Microsoft company, and today, Microsoft become one of the biggest company in the world. Now, I want to share about organizational structure of Microsoft. In terms of decision making, Microsoft choose centralized structure as it helps to keep output standardized, remove the potential for personal bias, and create a unified company with diversified standard. Next is type of organizational structure. In Microsoft, they are using divisional structure in their company. By applying this structure, Microsoft are divided into two, which are functional business group and engineering group. The functional business group did not involve in production, but to help business operation to run smoothly. They are divided into 9, and some of them are business development groups, finance group, global sales, marketing, and HR group. Next is engineering group. The engineering team is in charge of the actual production and creating of the software. They are divided into 3 areas, which are cloud and AI group, experience and device, and artificial intelligence and research.
How can a business succeed? Goal setting and impact are key motivators. A company needs motivation. Microsoft is one of the world's most successful companies. They must do well to maintain their success. Microsoft offers employee motivation programs to boost productivity. This program help people work harder. First, the employees are provided with intensive healthcare coverage regarding their benefits package for medical care. Furthermore, concerning matters related to families, the company offers paid time off for new parents in addition to maternity leave, adoption cost help, savings on child care services, and paid time off. Third, in terms of making financial investment, Microsoft allows its employees to purchase the company's shares at a reduced price. Microsoft decision-making and communication procedures are industry standard. CEO and other top officials define the company's strategy, objectives, and directive. The department leaders must then apply these goals to their responsibilities. Managers must communicate these goals to their employees so they can achieve them. Therefore, responsibilities are allocated from top to bottom and employees communicate with direct superiors. Microsoft steps in the decision-making process are direction setting and the development of company's overall plan, identifying challenges and hazards, finding alternative and solution, implementation of the selected strategy, and evaluating the result. Additionally, the elements that compose the company's decision-making process are design of goods and services, quality management, process and capacity design, location strategy, layout design and strategy, human resources and job design, supply chain management, inventory management, scheduling, and maintenance. Microsoft founders Bill Gates and Paul Allen emphasized innovation and performance. Since the establishment in 1972, the technology company's corporate culture has emphasized efficiency and inventiveness. Steve Ballmer's leadership from 2000 to 2014 impacted Microsoft market share and stock values. When Satya Nadella became Microsoft CEO in 2014, he had to overhaul the company's processes. The global technology company is working hard to make the One Microsoft idea the center of its company culture. 3 most important parts of Microsoft organizational culture are openness, is when all the company's employees have the chance to say what they think. Secondly, value for innovation is the integration of innovation and creativity. Last but not least, diversity and inclusion in creating an environment that helps the company capitalize on the inclusion of solutions and ideas and the diversity of the peoples to meet the customers' needs.
Next, the leadership of Microsoft. The founder of Microsoft is Bill Gates, and he has worked for Microsoft since 1976 to 2000. Next, Stephen Anthony Bellmer, an American business magnate and investor, served as Chief Executive Officer at Microsoft from 2000 to 2014. And lastly, Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft right now. He had been working in Microsoft since 2014 until now. Before being named as the CEO in February 2014, Nadella held leadership roles in both enterprise and consumer businesses across the company. All of the three Microsoft CEOs possess a different leadership style. The company is currently led by Satya Nadella, who was appointed in 2014. As a result of this, he first made a major restructuring and reinvention of the company. The goal was to have Microsoft Mobile's efforts refocused and to expand many of the company's services to be offered on other platforms, such as Mac OS and also Linux. Nadella's main strategy is to maintain close cooperation with Apple. With regard to internal affairs, Nadella places a greater emphasis on his employees than his predecessor, Steve Ballmer, who wanted to be seen first as a human and only then as their leader. This characteristic is what contributes to what employees' happiness and their positive attitudes towards the company's CEO. With over 20 years of experience at Microsoft, which led him to head up the software giant in 2014, Satya Nadella has had numerous opportunities to learn about what makes for an effective leader. During Mobile World Congress (MWC), Satya Nadella explained how he has refined his idea on good leadership into three main categories. Here are the three main categories that Nadella looks for in a leader. Firstly, provide clarity. When things are chaotic or tense, the people most look up to are those with clarity and help to ease a situation. Other than that, he also stated that a leader cannot come into an uncertain, ambiguous situation and try to create confusion, and he also stated that the best leader are those who bring a clarity into a situation where none already exists. Secondly, generate energy. Clarity and precision are extremely valuable characteristics to possess during times of uncertainty, but they should not be the only ones. The chief executive of Microsoft believes it is important to be passionate and enthusiastic about their work when striving to develop leadership skills. Thirdly, drive success. The final aspect of being successful is that it does not happen overnight. Although a leader might eventually become successful, they are bound to run into a few obstacles on the way, so they have to be prepared for them. The last thing that leaders need to do is drive success in an overconstrained situation. Nadella mentioned that a leader needs to figure out how to do it and figure out how to drive success. Some of Satya Nadella on his success and share the leadership traits that have brought him here are: firstly, thinking big. Visionary thinking is one of the major reasons for Satya Nadella's success in the corporate world. He has always had a prescient approach to making business decisions, be it in predicting that cloud computing would become the next big thing, leading Microsoft to develop data centers to market cloud-ready products around the world. Secondly, seeking knowledge. Learning is a continuous process for a leader who is able to make a difference. That is exactly the case for Satya Nadella. Being in a position of authority where one decision can shape the destiny of his company, he must constantly stay aware of what is happening in the world and maintain a high level of performance. Reading is his passion, so he enjoys educating himself on a wide variety of topics because, as they say, knowledge never goes to waste.
Next, I will present attitudes. Being a massive international organization, workers and ex-employees think working there is similar to working in other big IT corporations. Microsoft offers competitive pay and benefits, engaging work, and the opportunity to engage with highly skilled individuals. It shows that the organization's benefits may affect the workers' attitudes toward their job performance, whether it is positive or negative work attitudes. Job satisfaction is when the work environment can greatly impact how the employees feel content with their job. When compared to competitors such as Salesforce, Google, Yahoo, Apple, and Oracle, Microsoft's happiness score ranks third. The happiness score defines an employee's well-being based on factors such as workplace positivism, possibilities for professional progress, and contentment with remuneration and perks. Microsoft is a pleasant place to work since 83% of its workers believe their work environment is favorable. Organizational commitment is when the employees are productive and devoted to their work. Aside from the fact that Microsoft is a well-known organization, there are other reasons why people find a career with the company appealing. They showcase an exceptional and appealing business culture that emphasizes work-life balance with offerings such as a rich benefits package and high compensation. What is a new platform that engages all the employees? It is Microsoft Viva, which can be an employee experience platform that brings together communications, knowledge, learning, resources, and insights in the flow of work. It is powered by Microsoft 365 and experienced through Microsoft Teams. Viva fosters a culture that empowers employees and teams to be their best from anywhere. Also, it is to help employees and teams across the organization thrive through recommendations to improve their productivity and well-being. Microsoft has chosen to take further steps to strengthen the investigation process for the workers when they are complaints about workplace behavior. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella said such efforts included adding human resource personnel to improve listening capacity and forming an employee advocacy team to focus on aiding people throughout a workplace inquiry. The corporation also claimed it would adopt a company-wide disciplinary rules for work-related misbehavior, would convey investigation findings to management, and would require them to apply a prescribed range of penalties accordingly. This effective workplace treatment is to observe Microsoft's employees' work behavior.
When it's come to Microsoft mission, the company has shifted from focusing on how people engage with each other to how teams work together. The art of teamwork was studied and defined by Microsoft in collaboration with a design firm, which is IDEO. Developing a strong framework for effective teamwork requires elements such as collective identity, trust and vulnerability, awareness and inclusion, and constructive tension. The success of the teamwork among the workers in Microsoft company are all based on several key components that were already mentioned earlier, which is the first one is collective identity. There are three components to building a collective identity, which is the first one is shared value. Shared values are the belief and attitude that a team believe are necessary for success. The next key component is agreement. An agreement is defined by Microsoft as a tangible, agreed upon manifestation of a team values. And the last key component is ritual. Teams create a formal and informal agreement that are reinforced by ritualized behavior and activities. The second key component are awareness and inclusion. Team members need to understand their own needs before looking out for others. There are three levels are divided in this key component of awareness, and the first level is self-awareness. Self-awareness is the ability to detect and understand one's own emotion. The second level is co-awareness. Co-awareness refers to one knowledge of the feeling of others and the effect that one action have on those around them. And the last level is situational awareness. This level is the combination of the two others level and it involves being aware of the environment in which workers and their colleagues are operating. The third key component are trust and vulnerability. Microsoft described trust as knowing that workers can be vulnerable with someone without being put down or damaged, while vulnerability is defined by Microsoft as getting into situations that are both risky and emotionally challenging. Rather than feeling exposed, vulnerability is the ability to be open with others without fear of being judged. The last key component are constructive tension. Contrary to popular belief, Microsoft research shows that high level of constructive tension are present in the most effective team. Team purpose, collective identity, awareness and inclusion, and trust and vulnerability are all the elements that creates constructive tension. When tension is properly channeled, it can be a powerful tool for boosting the team creativity and expanding the workers' perspective.
In sum, we can conclude that good organizational behavior will give positive impact to the organization. It helps in creating good workplace relationship, increase employee motivation, and build efficiency team. Next, we also can conclude that Microsoft have a good organization as they have many elements of organizational behavior and they manage to carry all of them well. Microsoft have element of motivation, decision making and communication, organizational culture, leadership, attitude, and good teamwork in their company. And lastly, what we can learn is Microsoft is a well-established company and they have good organizational behavior practice. Other companies also should learn from Microsoft about how they handle their employees and build good work environment to retain and motivate them. And that brings us to the end. We would like to thank Sir NIZAM and our classmates for your time and attention today.